Today what we're going to do is we're going to be removing the calipers, the brake calipers off of a BMW 3 Series. So this is a car that I use for work. It is an F30, if that means anything to you. That's the body style. The reason we're going to be removing them is I will show you extremely rusted and just look dingy. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning these, removing the brake calipers, getting the rust off of there, and then we're going to paint them and bring a little bit of life back into this 10-12-year-old car, and you know, make it look, you know, a little bit more appealing as well. You know, removing that rust, because it's just surface rust, but from time to time it does happen. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, I hope you don't have your favorite shirt, favorite pants or anything on, because you will get dirty. There's lots of brake dust and just grime that's under here. So make sure you got some clothes that you don't care about as much. So first, what we're gonna do is 2 bolts in here that you have to remove. Right here. So we'll loosen that one up. And then there's another one down below. Here on the bottom, right there. So one on the bottom, one on the top. We'll need to loosen those up in order to loosen our caliper to get it off and to help remove the rust that we're going to be. Keep in mind that you are loosening at opposite of you, so you need to flip yourself around and realize which way you go and not tighten it up like I did earlier, because then you'll be sitting there for 45 minutes trying to undo what you just messed up. So let's see. Had to get an impact because they were rusted so tight on there, but we're getting them off now. All right, now what you want to do is when you take these off, get you just a wire hanger, hook it to the shock here, just wire it up there to the shock. It's just a standard cheap wire hanger is all it is, because once you pull this off, you don't want to pull the brake line back there, since we're not disconnecting the brakes or anything. So when you rock this back off here, as soon as we get it off. I'm gonna say, if yours is like mine, it's gonna be a little difficult, but it'll eventually come off. There we go, there we go. All right, now in order to not pull your brake line right here, because you don't want to be doing a brake job, I'm just gonna slide this. Is like mine and extremely rusted. Take some WD-40, spray on the spring as well as your bolts, help them maybe not rust as bad. You remove some of that rust off of there. You'll thank yourself later, especially if you ever have to remove this stuff again. So this is gonna be our tool of choice. Just a power drill, a wire brush. That's gonna help get some of this rust off of here. And it's gonna take you a few passes, obviously, especially if yours is as rusty as mine. I'd probably recommend wearing some eye protection, maybe a mask as well, because it's going to get very dusty and you don't want any of this in your eyes. Just look at the progress right there, and that's just for a couple of seconds of using the drill there. Didn't even do much on the top, but just look at the difference it made just by a little bit of drilling there to remove some of that surface rust. Make it, you know, bring some life back into it. Just a little couple of passes. So let's get to the rest of it. Just with a little WD-40 and the drill did. I mean, we're gonna paint this, so we're not worried about it being perfect. But I mean, if you wanted to leave it like that, I mean, that looks, you know, absolutely fine, just like that. Now we're gonna clean off the caliper as well. But then we're gonna paint this, and then we'll paint the caliper on another day. But I mean, just look at the difference that makes. Take a look at that. Look at the difference. And I mean, it's not like we did a whole lot to it. All we did was drill it off, take some brake cleaner, some WD-40, but I mean they're not perfect, but I mean, we don't need them to be because we're gonna paint them anyway. We just wanna remove some of that surface rust to make them a little bit cleaner. I'm gonna touch up that one a little bit more, and then we will paint the outside of the rotor. We're not gonna paint the actual rotor, just the outside of it. I mean, there's no point in painting this. I mean, one, that could be dangerous, but two, if you put paint on that, the brake will take it off anyway. So I mean, you don't need to paint that. Not really worried about that either, but this is what I'm gonna paint, and then we will paint the caliper later. But I mean, just the, you know, way it looks, like that's, you know, that's better than it did. Absolutely. And then we're gonna be painting, well, it'll be a surprise what we paint them. How about that? We are ready for paint. The paint we're going to be using, Stellium high heat up to 2,000 degrees, ceramic coating for it. That'll be plenty, but it's, you know, for aluminum. Looks like it's going to be a silver. That'll make it look new, but hopefully it'll also keep it from rusting as well. But like I said, up to 2,000 degrees. We're not going to be racing for this. That'll be plenty for daily use. One coat. Look at it. Do a few more coats as well. This is just one coat, but look at the difference it makes. Make sure, you know, you put something to plug in your holes. You don't want to get paint in your lug holes, because that will not be good. But what I did, I just used some masking tape to go around on the actual rotor, and then just some grocery sacks over the caliper and anything else back there, just to protect it from some overspray. You want to get a good even coat on it, to, you know, make it look as well as possible, but also to help prevent some of the rust from coming back. We're gonna do at least one more coat, probably two more coats, and then we'll see how it looks. All right, now we're gonna set up here. And then we'll get about 12. It is now time to take off our tape and, you know, kind of see how we did. So far, look at it. So let's peel the tape off and get a good look at it. Take a look at that. Like, night and day difference from what it did look like to now. I mean, it looks like it's brand new at that point. So next we're gonna paint the caliper, but check that out. Whole new life to it. Maybe it'll help prevent some rust as well. A little bit of overspray there in the backside, but overall, not too shabby. Well, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching. You know, we're gonna paint all 4 of them, the calipers as well. So join me next week as we paint the calipers. We're gonna go for a red caliper, make it stand out. But thanks for joining me on my pursuit of DIY. See ya.